So in this video we're going to play around with some fire. We're going to bring in a model. I'm just going to show you some other ways to deform it, and then from there we're going to just create another object and sort of play around with the shape and form of the object that's been pre-created. So to start, we're just going to go to File, Import, and take the Fireplace Final FBX that you should have downloaded. If you haven't downloaded it yet, then do so, and you'll find this object. So we've got some pebbles, which I'll sort of show you how to create in a moment, and we have an overall fireplace in this, as you can see here. So nothing fancy. I just don't really know what was in my mind while I was doing it. I was just kind of thinking of the old type of fireplaces that you get, but maybe a little bit wider. So the first thing, to create pebbles, I'm just going to go back to this item, and on the visibility push 0. If you can't see the outliner, remember to click on these down here, otherwise go to Windows and Outliner. So to create a pebble, we're going to create a polygon cube. We're going to create polygon cube, and we're going to go into the inputs. We'll just call this pebble 1. Not pebble wrong. Sorry. And then from this, in height and width, we're just going to type in 5. And we're going to change all of these values to 2. So we have this. Now what we're going to do is to smooth the objects by pushing 3. Okay, as you can see there. And we're going to hold down the right mouse button and go to vertex. And we're just going to pull a few of these out. So pull that out here. And obviously we don't want to just make it completely smoothly round, because pebbles won't exist like that. They'll have different shapes and forms. I'm going to bring this up and pushing the R key, hold these in. So remember, if you want to select vertex, hold down the right mouse button. So once we have a shape that's looking a little less like a box, we can then push Ctrl D to duplicate, and then we'll pull that out. I'm going to push the R key and scale it down a little bit. We're going to spin it around and rotate. So the key with these is, once you create something that's quite organic, you can reposition and resize generally the same object, especially if it's something that's going to be really difficult to kind of see. So all of these ones that you see up here are the same shape, give or take some minor differences. So I may have taken one or two and just kind of gone in after and change the overall form just a little bit. I mean, it's literally just a case of duplicating and rearranging the rotations so you're kind of happy with it. So moving those around. So eventually, once you've scaled them all, you will basically end up with a large collection. And obviously you can keep selecting more, pushing Control D and moving them out. And again, repositioning until you are happy with what you have. And there we go. So, you get the idea. Right, so with those now finished, we'll assume we've got them in place. We're going to locate them with the fireplace. We may need to rearrange them. So next we're going to do is deform this just to exaggerate it and make it a little bit more kind of quirky. So if we go to deform and we go to lattice, okay, and if we go into, rather than clicking straight onto lattice, sorry, if we click on Control Z or Command Z to undo, just go in and click lattice, and we're just going to set how many of these we want. Let's just do like 3, 3, and 3. Click apply, and now we have. Oh, we should have 3. Okay, so we need to do 4, 4, and 4. But the division is actually counting it to endpoints as well. Let's do 4, 4, and 4. Click apply. There we go. Okay. So with this, I'm just going to close this off. If you hold down the right mouse button and go to lattice point, we can now select these, and basically it will start to kind of deform and break up our model into something almost kind of like a crooked house. It depends on the sort of thing you want to go for. I'm just going to play around with these so I kind of get something a little bit more broken up. And this is a nice way to kind of just create something a little bit more stylized and a little bit less predictable. And then we start to form into that cartoon kind of structure as well. So I'm going to take these. There we go. And that kind of bulge out. And start to get a break on those bars as well then. There we go. So once we're kind of done with that, I believe if we go to modify, if we go to edit, delete by type history, it should, hold on, modify, delete by edit, sorry, delete by type history. There we go. It will now keep the object with the changes made. But obviously, if you're unsure if you want to keep it, duplicate the fireplace beforehand. Okay, so now we're ready to add in the fire. So to do this, we're going to need a sphere. So we're going to go to create, and we're going to go to polygon primitives and sphere. We'll just bring that up to here, and we're going to push F to focus on it. Holding down the right mouse button, go to face. Select the first one just before the halfway point on the underside. Hold Shift and double click. Push delete, and it will remove that loop. Then double click on this underside, and it will select the whole thing. Give a little bit of lag there, sorry, and push delete. And now we're left with this kind of dome-like sphere. So let's go hold down the right mouse button, go to object mode, and I'm literally just going to use the scale tool to resize this now. Okay, so I'm going to pull that out. I want it to kind of cover the whole of this fireplace entrance. Stretch it out, stretch it up, and then reposition it on. It's kind of on the pebbles, like so. Okay. Now all we need to do is change the visibility, because obviously we want to see the pebbles, we don't want to see the surface, so we need it to be translucent. So to do that, we're going to load up the hypershade, and in here we're going to create a new Lambert. So just going to go into here, go Lambert, and we're just going to call this fire transparent. So I'll spell it without any of the vowels in there. Okay, and I take transparency and turn it all the way up in this attributes to property editor. But I'm going to click the sphere that we made. I'm just going to rename this as fire surface, and then we're just going to click on this layer by holding down the right mouse button and go up to 12 o'clock where it says assign material to viewport selection. You will now see that we have that object. If we close this off, and it is transparent. So we may need to just adjust it slightly so it's just under the surface there. And now we're going to add in the fire effect. So this is a really entry level introduction to particles. We're not going to do much with them at all. We're going to effectively click a button and it's going to do it for us. But if you continue with your career in this area, you'll get more depth. It's quite complex and can be very fiddly, so this is kind of like a foolproof way to kind of get it in, but it does limit what we can do. So if we go down to FX and we go to Effects again, and this time we're just going to click on Create Fire. Okay, and you'll see now that if I push play, that fire starts to come through. Okay, so I'll push stop here and go to this render preview window. You'll need to make sure you have your render view changed to Maya software, and if I just click on this icon here, you'll see that it has now made that fire in between. So as I said, this is a really cheap way of doing it. It also mimics the amount of issues that we can have. I believe we can possibly start change the fire radius. Just change it to 2. I'm not sure if it'll work. There we go. Let's have a look. So if I go back into this view and I want to compare rendered images, what I can do is I can click this icon here, and basically it's going to save that image. If I go back to the left and re-render, we will be able to get a comparative image, and we'll see if it looks any different. That looks very different if we compare the two. We don't see much of the pebbles this time, however we do get a nice thick kind of fire coming through. So again, if we turn that up, so this is obviously in the channel box further down. We can see that there. Let's just see if we can turn up the fire turbulence. Let's see if that has any effect. If I double that to 500, and we take it to frame 91 again. Well, I got to frame 78, so we'll see if there's a comparable difference. Not so much. Let's take that down to 240. Let's turn up the fire spread. Can't take that any further. Nope. Take the lifespan to 2. That means it will live longer and hopefully go higher. So let's have a look. Nope. I'm not too sure. As I said, I've not played around with this too much. So it's something that I'll have a look at. But in the meantime, you have something that you can play with in terms of if you want to add a bit of a fire to your scene. If there's an element that could incorporate it, you'll essentially be able to have that in. Okay, so give it a go and share your results.